Oh, hello, everybody. BRIE here for the Cash Confident Podcast. And today I have the most amazing guest ever. And I'm so excited to introduce my dear friend, my long-term colleague, Jess Weaver. She is the CEO of the Women's Wealth Boutique. And she is I'm going to mess it up. I'm messing it up. She's an author and a TV host. And I fucked it up. What is it? Tell us, Jess. I'm sorry. I ruined it.
It's so good to see you again. Yes, founder of Pink Fix Productions, our productions multimedia company.
Yes. And I want to tell you guys a quick story. So, Jess Weaver and I were in the same business coaching group years ago. And I remember that when we first got to meet, she had this blog called Not Your Father's Advisor, right? Was that it?
Yes. Good memory, BRIE.
Yeah, because for sure, when I met you in real life, I was like, oh my God, she's famous. I've been reading her articles on Pinterest. And it's been just such a joy to watch, just to like witness the growth that we've both been doing. Like, it's just so good to get to hang out with you and like see you do all this amazing stuff.
Oh, same. The evolution of you in your business has been amazing to witness and cheer you on from the side and then get to partner and collaborate for things like this. And you've been on our show, Women Behind the Millions. It's fun to have this relationship just keep growing and seeing everybody succeed.
Super, super good. So today, Jess Weaver is here today to talk to us about adding passive income to our businesses, because this is something that she's super, super brilliant at. So she's gonna give us all the inside tips, the scoops, and all the things. So first of all, Jess Weaver, first and last name, very official. Tell us, what are your thoughts on passive income?
Passive income, I feel, is a big myth out there. We talked about this before, where somebody's just going to give you money, or I'm going to get a rental property, and the money's just going to come in. But we all know any kind of passive income, it's a business, and you need to approach it with that frame of mind, where one, is going to take some time to set up. It's going to take some investment of probably your money or your time, your sweat equity, your energy, to understand it, learn about it, do your due diligence before you go all in on anything, and learning the ins and outs of it. How much startup capital will you need for that investment property? How much startup capital, or to build out, how about coaches online? We see this all the time, Brie, right? I'm going to create online programs and I'm going to sell them as passive income. This has been huge. I think ever since pandemic, this has blown up all over. And one, you're taking a lot of time to build out the content for that, then the copy to sell it on social media and the marketing and email lists and all of that too. Then you're paying people to edit the videos and to put them onto a platform where people can log in too. And then there's ongoing costs to maintain the videos, to maintain the portal for all the courses that you have as well. So it can, let's call them semi-passive income streams.
Yeah, I could share. Sometimes people say this to me. They're like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to make a course and we're going to have it be passive income streams." And I'm like, so I have courses. I've sold thousands of courses. We've been doing courses since 2017. I was like, it is work. It's not even like, it's passive in the fact that you might get a sale while you're sleeping. You know, like your sales may come in while you're like, you know, eating crunchies on a patio somewhere, having a little spicy margarita. But the thing is I'm like, you have to have an ads manager. You have to optimize these sales pages. Like, money doesn't just fly into your courses. Like, you have to be able to really, really sell it. And marketing is its own skill set. So like, I think that's the thing that people really, really don't realize, is that when you have a business, you're like, selling your thing is that's like the hard part, right? Like, that's the thing, that's the challenge. It's getting the leads, it's making the sales. And like, oh, sometimes, I've talked to people who are like $15,000 into building a course with no online presence, with no ad strategy, with no idea, like, why anybody would buy this thing. Like, it's a really interesting phenomenon. So I'm really glad that you pointed that out. And honestly, sometimes I talk to people and they think that same thing about like, oh, I'm going to get this property and Airbnb it. And I'm like, yeah, okay. So that's like that's kind of a part-time gig. You know, it's not exactly passive.
It's not. It's going to take up, there's going to be maintenance. We have a property in Aruba. So you can imagine the AC goes a lot, or the
Oh,
refrigerator are the two big things that we have to replace pretty consistently. So a big issue people do with passive income is, right, the income comes in and they're not setting aside some of that money for ongoing maintenance, whether it's for a course, for just the technology to support the course, or the Facebook ad fees and things like that, or for an Airbnb or rental property to replace different utilities. Or you have a bad renter and then you have to replace things inside of it as well. So I think you have to approach any rental property passive income that this is a business, it's going to bring income into my world. But there's that startup investment, and then there's ongoing maintenance, and that might be different. Let's say you hire a wealth advisor, a financial advisor, to build passive income in your portfolio. Well, you're paying them a fee to do that. So even though somebody else is doing the work for you, your money's paying for that. Nobody's just giving money, especially in the financial industry. Any transaction, there's a cost associated with it, and you have to weigh that out. What is that return on investment, like you said, for the courses too? I hear, you probably hear this too, Bree, right? I'm going to work with this coach and they're going to save my course. And now they're even more money onto that course. So now I invest initially 5, 10,000, but now I'm going to pay 15,000 for this coach to show me what to do with this course and how to sell it. And then that snowballs into hiring, well, another coach is more specific on the social media side, and then another coach on Facebook ads. And it just keeps chugging along. And this passive income has become a bleeding hole in your cash flow, in your money.
yeah. Yeah, that can be. And I mean, depending on how do I want to say? It's like if you have something to really teach and you're really good at it, do it. Do it and then figure it out. Like I've made a lot of money in courses. I just hate it when people think that there's no work that goes into it. So I think if we come at this with proper expectations, we can really make we can really make these semi-passive income streams profitable and work. But I loved what you were saying just about like really doing your due diligence to be prepared, because I think that's the main thing. It's like if you have a course that you want to sell and you don't have all the pieces together to get it right, chances are it's not really going to sell, and that's just going to be like a black hole of expense that you can't figure out how to really get work. And the same thing's like true for rental properties or for anything else that you do. It's like if you don't really understand what you're doing and look at it really as a business and to be prepared, then it's, the taxes are going to come due and you're going to be like, oh, or the would you say you get a bad renter or something, and it can all be really hard and stressful. So what are some things that you suggest that business owners do to help just diversify their income streams?
Yes, so I love, we'll call it back to semi-passive income streams. I love having multiple streams of income coming into my world. Even at our From the Wealth Boutique, we diversified our advisors' revenue streams with different things. So we have financial plans, estate plans. We have a service fee for managing people's money. We've even recently added in property and casualty as well for it to just be a more holistic firm. But then also it allows us to work with more diversity of clients as well. We don't just have to work with people who have a lot of assets, which a lot of firms do now, right? They have standards and minimums you have to meet. It allows us to engage with people at different values, whether they're just starting to save money or they've been saving money and now they're ready to retire on their millions as well for it. I think going into any passive income is a very big learning experience, and you have to be open to that learning. Things are going to happen that you did not prepare for. So having a good guide along the way, an advisor, can really help. You want to look at the tax implications as well for it. I just got an email from one of our clients. She's going through a divorce spree. They had a passive income rental property, and she just emailed, "We sold the property. What does this mean for taxes? So this money, this 250,000 that's coming to me, do I get to keep all of that or spend all of it, or is some of that going to the IRS?" And for rental properties, an accountant's going to depreciate the rental property about 3% each year. So you do owe tax on that money, rental income, and then you have rental expenses. Those are going to offset tax-wise as well for it. So think about, how is this money going to be taxed to me? More money is great. I'd rather have more money coming in and pay tax on it than not have that money coming in. I think people are like, I don't want to do this because I'm going to have to pay taxes. Like, still more money coming into your world and do for
Yeah,
it.
I had one day I had a client say that to me. He's like, "Well, I don't want to invest that money. I don't want to have to pay more taxes." I was like, "That's like not eating because you don't want to take a shit. Like it doesn't even make sense.
Exactly.
Like it just doesn't make
Living
sense."
in your world. We had somebody else with that. Like, I don't want to write a book and then the book proceeds means I'm going to have to pay tax on the money. I'm like, but it's money coming into your world, and it's a book. That's why or you can donate the money if you really don't want to pay tax. Donate the money. Or how about liquidity, right? We talk about that a lot as financial planners and wealth advisors. If I do need this money that I just invested into this passive income, how quickly can I get that money out for it too? So things like a rental property, a physical townhouse, lake house, vacation house, right? How quickly could I sell this? What are the costs associated with that sell, the taxes, and then that money hitting my account? And or an investment, a stock, a bond, that could be, they're actually changing it to 1 day, 1 business day. It used to be 2 to 3 business days, so very quickly as well. But I think most people, they run out of capital before the investment can really start getting going and building for them. I think any passive income is going to be long term, should be a long term mindset for that money. You got to let it
Mm.
sit and do its thing 5, 10 plus years and let it keep chugging away for you, especially anything like a stock, a bond, a rental property, the Airbnb, because those startup costs, you're going to have startup costs associated with it as well.
Perfect. I love that. So what are some other things that people should be thinking about and looking at, like more or less to be successful?
Oh, sure. And if you're looking at business owners, another way for passive income is having other people sell for you. So you're getting out of that sales role. They're generating income to your firm, your company, but you're not the one out there doing the work. So you can have, whether it's a salaried gig or they get a commission on it, or maybe a combination of both. It's another way to bring in kind of that semi-passive, passive income. So if you're ready to get out of that role, the marketing, you have a course, but you don't want to be out there talking about it. Hire somebody, pay influencers as well, and then they're going to bring money into the firm, which is what we've done at the Wealth Boutique. We have 6 advisors. All of us are pulling in our different streams of revenue into the firm to pay for the overhead. But if they get a new client, it helps the entire firm. It's bringing income into the entire firm, and it makes your firm, your company, a lot more valuable and profitable when you go to sell. Because in most business owners, you're building a business, an asset for retirement. Going to another topic we were talking about earlier, BRIE. If you are the one that's selling, it's going to be very hard to sell your business at all. But if you have a team that will stay in place beyond when you're ready to retire and sell, your valuation is going to skyrocket. So you should start building in that diversity already, knowing what your end game is too for it. Yeah, so I think a lot of business owners, especially female business owners, and if there are a lot of women in your world, BRIE, who you work
Oh,
with.
I pretty much only, I mean, every now and then a random dude hires me, but it's mostly ladies.
All right, ladies. So I've found that a lot of women shy away from looking for loans and financing for their business. And I like what poor people say, think of debt as loans. Rich people call it financing or leveraging and using others people's money. I think we need to change our mindset around loans as well for that, right? Financing for their business. But because of business, it requires a lot of startup capital. And it might take a year to up to 5 years for your business to really be flowing and cash flow heavy, where now you can pay off those things. And where most businesses fail is because they do not have enough startup capital either. Unfortunately, women business owners aren't as attractive for banks to give loans to. You might need 2 years proof of income that when you're established, you're here, you're not going anywhere. And in order to get a loan, and there's a lot, if you are a female owned business or a minority owned business owner in your state, look for the state grants. There's a lot of availability out there. You just have to do your research and homework and work with somebody who knows how to write grant proposals as well. It's really important if you're going to invest the time into it. Do what you're going to want to have a good bookkeeper who's keeping your books in order, because they're going to want to see your profit and loss statement, your balance sheet, all of that stuff. So start keeping things clean from the start. It's very hard to go back, and you're going to end up spending a lot of money going back to clean it up too. So you're going to want to clean up your books. You're going to want to have probably 2 years of income to keep it going, or you can partner with like venture capitalists, angel investors are out there too, especially for women who are, think of these women, they're sitting on millions and they want to give back. They want to invest in something that's attractive to them, that's maybe something they're passionate about as well. Or you can go to your local bank. In the finance industry, we have certain banks that they understand our industry so well that on your book of business, you can get almost like a line of credit, right? Like a HELOC, home equity line of credit. It's a revolving door. You can take chunks out, pay it off, and it's there for 5 to 10 years, depending on your term. So I left, which you know my story, BRIE, but I left my father's firm in 2022 to launch the Wealth Boutique, to create a really special place for women investors, clients, and advisors. So we are a female-focused firm built by women for women. And we had 3 advisors join us the first year and 3 last year. And we had so much growth, which was amazing. But I was getting close to burnout, which happens to a lot of female business owners, right? The burnout is real. And I knew I needed to start hiring key people. And the first hire for any business owner really should be a director of operations. Somebody needs to be on the operational side of things. And that's a big salary for it too. So cash flow, I knew we were going to be there, but we weren't there when we made that initial hire. So we did some financing for it. And it was we had for 5 years this line of credit that we could use. And I'm like, okay, we'll have this salary covered for the foreseeable future. We hired our director of operations. She changed the game for our firm, Cami, incredible operations manager. And our valuation went from 1.5 to 2.5 in a year because we had the right infrastructure. We are now cash flow heavy, where we actually didn't even need the loan anymore. We're paying it back already. And now we have the infrastructure to build on more. And then we can look at, well, do we want to, as we're paying it off, we can then use it to invest in that next key person, which will be our chief compliance officer. We're going to bring in a tax specialist. So we can keep using it and paying it off to just build our valuation. And our valuation went higher than it was on our 10-year projection in a year.
Oh, that's exciting. Good for you.
And they go, it was a tough one. Like we were still valued really well, but it wasn't near where we wanted to be. But they said, you saw where it was going though. And keeping track of your income and what's that net revenue is going to be huge, because any financing company, bank's going to want to see what's that net revenue. Can they afford the principal, the interest payments along the way? So understanding your finances as a business owner is going to be huge for any kinds of growth. You're going to need to do it. And it might be painful in the beginning because you might not have a lot of income coming in. But remember, it's going to feel really good when the income is flowing in and you can look back and see, look how far we've come. It's amazing.
Love it. So tell us about your books and how that provides an income stream to your business that you also called semi-passive.
Yes, the books, I think, are the best way for, especially advisors. We come off as intimidating, overwhelming, speaking over our clients' heads. The book is a really intimate way for clients, new people into our world, to get to know us. And I say woman going through divorce, who is so vulnerable, emotional, feeling really insecure about her future, can spend hours with me in her bathrobe or on the beach or drinking some wine in a very intimate way that you can't really replicate in real life. And it's become a huge referral source. So my one client, Sue, who's in Florida, she'll go, I have a new prospect for you, a referral for you. Send her your first book or send her your second book, because she knows all of them. She knows what frame of life they're in. The one's going through divorce, one's going to retirement. as well. And obviously, as people buy the books, you get that income. I decided this year, and we did it with Financial Trendsetters, that all of the book proceeds are being donated to fund a scholarship for a young woman who wants to study finance. So we did $5,000 this year from our gala, which you attended.
So much fun.
Our gala and the book proceeds, and we're going to keep it going moving forward as well as part of our give back too. But then building out more income streams at Pink Fix Productions now, we've partnered with multiple authors to do anthology books with them. So it's a multi-author book, 10 to 15 contributing authors, and that's built out more revenue and giving all these amazing women a platform to tell their story and share their mission and to build a community. Each anthology book feels like its own community in itself. These women supporting and cheering each other on. It's just incredible. So in different ways, it's building income. From the actual book proceeds, there's income, but then there's these also spin-off projects that we get to keep doing. And I feel like any kind of passive income should feel more fun too. There should be a playful aspect to it that gets you excited for it.
Love it. So where can people find out more about you and the Women's Wealth Boutique and the Pink Fix and look at your books and, stalk you on the internet?
Yes. So jessicaweaver.com, thewealthboutique.com as well, and at Pink Fix My Money on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all that good stuff. And our TV show, Women Behind the Millions, is on the E360 network too. So lots of different places to check us out, ladies. All are welcome.
Sounds so good. Well, thank you so much, Jess. I appreciate you coming and telling us all these things about how to strengthen our passive income and how to make sure that we do it in a way that makes sense. So that way we don't accidentally turn our passive income streams into like a money-sucking black hole of time and energy. And yeah, super, super good to hear your story too.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on here, BRIE. I love seeing you and spending time with you and all your ladies, all your fabulous ladies. Thank you.
Oh, sounds good. All right, everybody. I will talk to you next week.
Thank you for listening to the Cash Confident Podcast. Remember, knowledge alone isn't enough to build wealth. It's what you do with that knowledge that counts. And that's where the Cash Confident community comes in. Our community is where aspiring wealthy women gather together to master money and mindset and build exponential wealth. I invite you to join our community where women are cultivating a healthy relationship with money and living the life of their dreams. Visit www.cashconfident.com to learn more.